Welcome to the Deep Dive. All right, let's dive deep into solopreneurship, but not just the idea of it. We're going beyond just follow your dreams. This is about how snap-in-place marketing systems helps people, ditch the corporate world and become successful solopreneurs.
It's really something how they've taken this whole, escape the corporate grind thing, which, let's face it, can be pretty scary. And they've turned it into this structured, almost like paint-by-numbers process.
Right, exactly. We've got newsletter articles here, case studies, even program overviews. And what really jumps out is this idea of a strategic framework. They're not just saying, go be independent. They're actually giving you a clear path to get there.
And it seems to be working. Like their 5 automation hacks for solopreneurs edition, the one from their newsletter. They saw a 25% increase in toolkit downloads and a 15% jump in program signups.
Wow.
So people are definitely looking for this kind of guidance.
So, who exactly are they targeting with all of this? They keep mentioning Ideal Andrew. Who is this Ideal Andrew?
Okay, so imagine someone. They've spent years, climbing that corporate ladder. They've got the skills, the experience. But something's missing. Maybe they're hitting a ceiling. Maybe the company culture's just not doing it for them anymore. Or maybe they just want more, autonomy. That's Ideal Andrew.
So they basically bottled that feeling of there's got to be more to life than this. But it's not enough to just feel that way, right? You need a plan.
Exactly. And that's where snap-in-place marketing systems comes in. They've figured out what those common pain points are, like fear of financial instability, not knowing how to get clients, even just making that mental shift from employee to entrepreneur.
Okay, so they get the struggles. But how do they actually help this Ideal, Andrew? Their snap-in-place marketing systems framework sounds pretty intense.
It is. It's very comprehensive. But they start with free resources. Things like their revenue, like Clockwork newsletter and the Solo Consultant Empowerment Forum. That's like dipping your toes in, getting a feel for it.
All right. So then they have this tiered system of paid programs, Strategic Solopreneurship Blast-Off, the Solopreneur Jumpstart Toolkit, Solopreneur and A-Box, and the Solo Growth Accelerator. So it's like they've got a solution for every stage of the journey.
And the cool thing is how they build on each other. You're not just thrown into the deep end with all this info. You're guided through it, It starts with the basics and then gets more advanced as you go.
I like that. So let's break those programs down a bit. First up, the Solopreneur Jumpstart Toolkit. What exactly does that Jumpstart involve?
It seems to be all about taking those first steps, defining your niche, setting up your business, and most importantly, getting those first few clients. They even say that people using the toolkit often land their first client within 60 days.
That's a big claim.
It is, yeah. But if they can back it up, that would really help with the fear,
Absolutely.
And remember, Ideal Andrew is probably coming from a world where things move slow. This toolkit is about getting those quick wins, that momentum.
Yeah, proving that this can actually work. Okay, so you've got some traction. What's next? That's where Solopreneur in a Box comes in.
Exactly. If the Jumpstart Toolkit is about getting off the ground, this is about building a real business, making it solid and scalable.
Sounds intense.
It is, but they cover everything. Systematizing workflows, automating client management, creating that predictable revenue stream.
So it's like going from a one-person show to a real company.
Yeah, and they bring in some key tools here. Dubsado for CRM, WildCloud for your website, and Zapier to connect it all.
Hold on. Let's talk about those tools. What's so special about Dubsado?
Yeah.
Especially for someone coming from that corporate world.
Okay, think about all those clunky corporate systems. Project management, invoices, all that communication. Dubsado streamlines that. It's all in one place. And it's designed for solopreneurs, No more chasing down approvals or getting lost in email chains.
So you're bringing that corporate level organization and efficiency, but without all the bureaucracy.
Precisely.
And WildCloud. That's for the website, right?
Yeah, it makes it super easy. You don't need to be a tech expert to have a professional website.
Okay, and then there's Zapier.
This is where it gets interesting. Zapier connects all these different tools, so things are automated, Imagine someone fills out a form on your WildCloud website. That info automatically goes into Dubsado, which then triggers a personalized welcome email.
Wow, so everything just works together smoothly.
Exactly. No more manual data entry or juggling a million apps.
So it frees you up to do the actual work.
Exactly.
All right, so we've gone from jumpstarting to building a solid foundation. Where does the Solo Growth Accelerator fit into all of this? This is where things get really high tech, right?
It does. This program is for people who are ready to, really scale things up. They talk about advanced automation with UiPath, sophisticated marketing strategies, even using AI.
UiPath. Now that sounds familiar. Remind me, what was that all about again?
It's a robotic process automation tool. Basically, it's like having a virtual assistant, but it handles all those repetitive tasks, data entry, invoices, even more complicated workflows.
So it's like automation on steroids?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then there's the nano products.
Right.
They're designed to bridge the gaps between these core programs. What are those all about?
Think of them as like little solutions for specific problems. Say you need a quick guide for setting up a Google Ads campaign, or maybe a mini workshop on, writing a really good client proposal. That's what these nano products are for.
So like a specialized toolkit.
Exactly.
And they're always adding more.
They are. It's clear they're committed to, keeping up with the needs of solopreneurs.
That's great. It's one thing to have this framework, but do they have real results? I'm always a bit skeptical until I see, how it's actually working for people.
Oh, they've got tons of case studies.
Okay, let's look at those then.
Sounds good. Remember Andrew, our IT consultant? His story's a good example of how this framework actually plays out.
Yeah, he had all the classic anxieties, worried about money, not knowing how to find clients. It's pretty relatable.
Totally. He had the skills, but needed that structure. And that's where the Jumpstart Toolkit came in. It was a step-by-step plan, not just theory.
So, where did he even start?
Visibility. The toolkit helped him revamp his LinkedIn so he could, attract those consulting clients. And then it got him into CRM, specifically Dubsado.
Okay, for those of us who haven't worked in sales or marketing, what's the big deal with CRM? I know what it stands for, but what does it actually do?
Imagine this. You've got multiple clients, proposals, invoices, trying to keep track of everything. It's a mess without a system. Dubsado automates a lot of that. Onboarding clients, scheduling, even those follow-up emails.
Like a super efficient assistant.
Exactly. And for someone like Andrew, coming from that structured world, it gives him that same control as a solopreneur.
And did it work? What were his results?
He landed 2 recurring contracts, $6,000 a month within 3 months of starting the program.
Wow, that's impressive.
Right. It's a real jumpstart.
So he's got clients. He's feeling good. But what about, building something long-term? That's where solopreneur in a box comes in.
Yep, exactly. If the toolkit was about getting off the ground, this is like building a skyscraper. A solid, scalable business.
I like that analogy. So what are the building blocks in this box, so to speak?
Templates for everything, branding, client workflows, procedures. It's about systematizing what you might have been figuring out on the fly.
So no more reinventing the wheel.
Exactly. You create a repeatable system, which frees you up to, focus on the important stuff.
And that's where Odoo comes in, right? The project management software?
Yeah. Imagine a visual platform. You map out your entire business, tasks, deadlines, everything. No more sticky notes and to-do lists.
So like your personal project manager.
Exactly. That structure and clarity is so crucial, especially early on when things can be chaotic.
It's smart how they've thought about what Andrew might be missing.
Yeah, and they've built it into the framework.
So we've got Dubsado for CRM, WildCloud for the website. What's so special about WildCloud? I mean, there are tons of website builders.
Think of it as one made for solopreneurs, specifically. Easy to customize templates, no coding needed. Plus, it integrates with Dubsado through Zapier. You can capture leads directly into your CRM.
So it's not just a pretty website. It actually works for your business.
Right. And Zapier makes sure everything's connected, WildCloud, Odoo, all of it. No more manual data entry.
Speaking of seamless integration, there was one tool that really caught my attention. UiPath. It sounded almost futuristic.
It's pretty cutting edge. It's all about robotic process automation. Basically a virtual robot doing those repetitive tasks.
Like what kinds of tasks?
Data entry, invoices, even more complex workflows.
So like a digital worker who never gets tired.
Exactly. And as you grow, UiPath can scale with you.
I'm seeing how they've really thought this through. Every stage of the journey.
And then they have the nano products.
Yeah, the little bursts of support. What were some examples again?
Quick guide for Google Ads, workshop on client proposals, even a checklist for onboarding new clients.
It's like a specialized toolkit for every situation.
Exactly.
So lots of automation and efficiency. But solopreneurship isn't just about that, right? there's the human side of it all.
That's a good point, and they do address it. They talk about mindset, imposter syndrome, stress, even work-life balance. They have a whole module on mindset mastery in the Jumpstart Toolkit.
So it's not just the technical skills.
Right. It's about being mentally ready for this change.
Makes sense.
Because going from employee to boss, that's a big shift.
Yeah, so they're providing the support for that too. It's like they're building confident solopreneurs, not just businesses.
Exactly. They're not just saying good luck and leaving you to it.
So we've talked about the tools and systems, but what about the sales approach? Is it all hard selling and aggressive tactics?
No, from what I've seen, it's all about trust-based selling. No pressure, no hype. It's about understanding the client and offering real solutions.
That's good to hear. It shows they care about, building relationships.
Right. They start by asking questions, listening to the client, and then tailoring solutions.
And that's where their opening question comes in. What's holding you back from starting your business?
It's a great question. It gets to the heart of the hesitation,
It's about building that trust right away.
Exactly. It sets the tone for the whole relationship.
It all goes back to understanding ideal Andrew.
Yeah, their fears, their dreams, their journey. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
It's personalized. So we've seen how it works for someone like Andrew, more technical background. But what about creatives like Sarah, the designer in one of those case studies?
Oh, yeah, her story. It shows how this can work for different people. She was dealing with that feast or famine thing. Inconsistent income, tons of admin work, not enough time for the actual creative stuff.
It's like you're always chasing invoices instead of designing.
Exactly. And for someone like Sarah, who probably went freelance for the creative freedom, getting stuck in the business side is the worst.
So how do they help her with that?
Solopreneur and A-Box. It gave her the structure she needed. They got her using Dubsado for CRM, which we talked about. It's a game changer.
Right, like having that organized manager you always wished for.
Exactly. And then WildCloud for the website. Super important for a designer to showcase their work. Easy to use, no coding needed.
Yeah, they have those pre-designed templates.
And it all integrates with the other tools. The results speak for themselves. 40% increase in revenue, 25 hours saved on admin each month.
That's amazing.
Right. Think of all the creative time she gained.
So the right tools can boost your income and free up your time.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual stories. They're building a whole community. Remember that Solo Consultant Empowerment Forum?
Yeah, what was that about again?
It's a place for solopreneurs to connect, share their struggles, celebrate wins, learn from each other.
So you don't feel so alone.
Exactly, because it can be isolating.
Especially at the beginning.
And they don't just leave you hanging after the programs. They're always innovating, adding new stuff.
So it's a whole ecosystem for solopreneurs.
Yeah, they're fostering a whole mindset.
Okay, so as we wrap up, what's the big takeaway for our listeners?
If you've ever felt that, itch, that there's got to be more to work than what you're doing, they've laid out a pretty good path.
They've taken the guesswork out of it.
The roadmap, the tools, the support.
So the question is, what skill do you have that you could use? What dream have you been putting off?
Maybe it's time to, take that first step.
Check out their website, the newsletter, explore the possibilities.
Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next success story.
That's it for this deep dive into solopreneurship. Until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.